Hey, Paulina, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
So we met in a very interesting way.
Yes,
We met at a potluck.
yes, and I actually said a poem that day. Yeah, and you were singing, and I was like, wow,
Mm,
she's very talented, and your friend Kareem as well. And I was like, I remember I pulled him up, and I was like, yo, we
mm,
need these type of music, man. We
mm,
need that soulful like. And he's
mm.
like, yo, I should have you record this shit and put it on my album. And I was like, hey, I'm here, man.
Mm,
Whenever you need my help.
mm.
Yeah.
And then what ended up happening to that space, it was on Washington Street.
Yep.
Gentrification
Exactly.
is what happened.
Exactly.
And it got shut down and
Mm.
it's, no longer open to the community. Gentrification is a heavy topic, but are there any words as a black artist who is in that very space? How did you feel about that?
It's unfortunate that it's always happening to us,
Yeah.
and creators need to come together
Mhm.
and understand that with the power of organization, they stand a chance and they can own their art and they can make their own, like the Dorchester Art Project. It's an organization. We need to start building more things like that so we can do
A
more
collective.
creative, yeah, more creative art projects. So we could be free to,
Yeah.
and it's sad. It's sad those things happen. Those places are important.
Yeah.
Those places are important,
It's
and
tragic.
yeah, it just shows you how far back we still are.
Yeah. Yeah. And so as a black artist and like being very aware of just gentrification, capitalism, those negative things, like what advice would you give to just up and coming black artists?
Up and coming black artists, I would tell them use what you have, and the connection around you,
Mm,
like meeting you, like from back then, and now we having an interview. Those connections need to happen, and you have to be genuine, and you have to be a real person, and
mm,
you have to be yourself, and don't let society norm like distract your mission and distract your purpose,
mm,
and take the fun out of your creativity, even though they want to shut you down. They want to, because they don't understand it,
mm,
it's just important for young black upcoming artists,
mm.
creators, to understand that, hey, the world is yours. You can create and you can do whatever you want, and you gotta have compassion. That's a big thing that
Yes.
everybody need to
And people
have.
are missing that.
Yes, yes, yes. And when we are not perfect,
Right.
and we're always gonna make mistakes, right?
Right.
It's just
Right.
when you do know
Right.
that, like, it's okay to man up, and
Be accountable.
be accountable for your mistake, and let that genuine accountability show.
Why do you feel like people, stray away from being compassionate and being loving?
Because the world tells you you can't love yourself,
Mm,
and once you know you can't love yourself, who else can you love?
right. How could it be genuine?
Yeah, yeah. And it's a thing that we are accustomed to picture perfect, but we know that we're not picture perfect. We know that we have flaws. We're not teaching kids to be compassionate because the world wants you to be a certain way, and it's sad it's like that, but that's the reality of it.
And so do you feel like you overcome that by just continuing to be compassionate, continuing to be loving, continuing to just try being a good person?
I mean, we are all model citizen, right? We are all model citizen. Like, who do you look up to?
Mm-hmm.
People that are making difference, people that are making change, and people that you value, and people that you see are walking the walk and talking the talk. Because, like, my generation, I feel like we are tired of listening to people tell us what to do and how
Yeah.
to do it, because we know there's not just one way to do something. There's multiple ways to do something.
Yeah.
And if this way doesn't work, we could always find something else. And this is why I like this new generation right now, because everybody could learn anything on YouTube, or, like,
Self-starter.
yeah. And those, like, DIY videos, all of that. Like, it's like, yo, we so fed up with this education system that, like, We are turning to,
Ourselves,
yes,
learning from one another.
yes,
And that was actually, I'm thankful that you said that. That's actually the whole purpose of this. I want to
yes,
create a platform for people to just learn from one another.
yeah,
And something I learned from you when I first met you was I noticed the way that you carried yourself was with a lot of kindness and a lot of like patience for yourself, and you would then give whatever generosity that you felt comfortable sharing with other people. And so again, like the energy that I always get from you is that you don't really care how many mistakes you need to make as long as you do it in an honorable way. And
you're supposed to make mistakes. That's life.
right,
That's life.
right.
Like, that's life.
And so to people who are judging the mistakes that you're making, what type of response would you have to those people?
They have the right to feel the way they feel, and as long as I respect everybody and I respect myself, and I hold myself accountable, then the universe is with me, and that's where I'm going back to when I die, and that's all that matter. And those people
So
that,
it's
yeah,
bigger
and
than this world.
yeah, and those people that understand that, yo, you know, even though this person wasn't like, always make mistake, but this person always show how to overcome those mistakes, because we are here to learn. We learn how to walk, we learn how to speak, we learn how to, put clothes on, we learn how to create habits, we learn how to do all of that. And to do that, we have to make mistake. We are all learning, and every mistake you become better, and that's the lesson of it.
And so how does your spirituality tie into your artwork, your artistry, your designs? I know you make fashion pieces.
Yes, so right now I'm currently working on a couple pieces that I'm bleaching.
Okay.
And I have a couple art pieces that I make that's based on the current time right now, and reflecting on myself first, because as a young black kid growing up, I'm not from here. I was born in Haiti, so I always was questioning, because I know that my country is the first black empire, not country, the first black empire to be free, and they never tell me what happened after. So what, like, why why are we the third world country now? Like, what happened? And then when I start looking into history, I start reading, I start searching for answers, and it's like nothing makes sense, because they make you recite the history book. So you would have to learn certain passage from the history book and recite it. So you don't really actually know, like, study this and then recite it to me, and I know you know your history. So it's like brainwashing. And it never makes sense to me, and it never really clicked, because most things that like make sense, you should remember it. You will remember it because it makes sense. The truth is the truth, and you will remember the truth. So I always had problem for that. I always had problem. I always get like, and I always been like someone's like, some fishy out here, and I look more into it. I look more into like how we did it, and then I start getting in tune with like spirituality like last year, to be honest with you. And I went on a cleanse, because I just felt like everything was gonna go to shit. And there's like a mantra I kept saying to myself: absence of it all. Like, absence of it all, create dance, rejoice, and create art. like I don't know, like I did like 30 days, like just water, nothing, just like. And then after that I was so happy, and then I had this mantra in my head. It was like, absence of it all, dance, rejoice, and create art.
And that ties in, you'd say, to your artistry, and to your fashion, and to your designs?
Well, my fashion came from my mom. My mom is always looking fly. My mom's like, even though she didn't have it like much, she always make it look good.
It's the energy. Because some people, they can wear something and it looks perfect, but their energy is not there. And then someone else, they can wear like ripped up jeans, but their energy is there, and it just, you're like, okay, that's
Yeah,
you
and plus, as a kid, I usually liked playing by myself, and I was very confident with just like,
hanging out with yourself.
being myself and like trying clothes and like seeing how I looked and like how people would like, oh, dope. Like,
So you have a good understanding of yourself.
I'm still understanding myself. Like that's the process. The older you get, the more you know yourself.
But you're comfortable with the process of getting into that, is what I'm saying.
Yes, I am very comfortable with that. I am very comfortable. That's why I said like I like making mistakes. If I don't make mistake, I don't feel like I'm learning.
That's good. No, but that's good.
Yeah.
And something I'm noticing as I talk to more artists, the artists that really like have that best friend relationship with themselves, like they're the ones who feel comfortable.
Yeah, and like I said, after I went that like fast, like because I wanted clarity, I became a little bit not obsessed with mirrors, but I became in tune with mirrors and looking at myself like and try to like look at myself naked and like meditate.
And be at peace with what you see.
Yeah, and just understand like you can actually shapeshift. You can actually transform yourself, and you can actually like like your body is the greatest technology ever created, and getting in tune with that and getting in tune with everything is already here. Like you already is, traveling.
It's through you.
Yeah, and you have to understand you're not the body, you're not the spirit, and you're not the mind.
The farthest you can go is with yourself, and the further you can go is within yourself.
Exactly. And then understanding that like even that image you're looking at is like an illusion.
Yeah.
And you have to accept that, and you have to understand that like, yo, I I dictate what I am and who I am. I am Lord Master of self, like, and I have to understand how to use my mind, my body, and the spirit of things, because everything is technical, but everything is spiritual as well, because there's a bigger plane that we're not seeing. And they've been trying to tell you that it's there, but we don't want to pay attention to it because it's voodoo. Like they want to put it, but
they want to put a negative connotation, and by they I say like capitalism, like the powers that be. They want to
the organizations that run this game.
Right.
Let's call it that.
They want you to feel bad about tapping into yourself because they know that the truest power is within us.
Yes, because you are the force. The force is within you. They've been telling you, you are the force, and it's like understanding like when Martin Luther King is telling you like understanding that like yo, the colors need to mix, and that's when other beautiful colors comes into play. That's when we create in that like everybody needs to come together because we are all here already. Just fucking accept it.
And I also want to say quickly, thank you for believing in this vision, because you were one of the first people to reach out, and you were like, I believe in the vision, I see where it's going. So I really appreciate that.
Because I do understand that like creators realize universal vision. That's my whole thing. I'm trying to start a collective called Crew Vision, because I want to create like Andy Warhol, like had like a big factory where like he has friends come like do films. Like that's how artists have their own value, because you have to value your own shit. If you don't value your own shit, people won't value your shit. And that's why like as black creator, everything I do has to reflect on how do I value myself.
Absolutely.